Talkin Sports. Hey, thanks for joining us this Saturday, April 23rd for We Talkin Sports. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're watching and listening or listening on YouTube. And if you're watching or listening on social media, if you can go ahead and hit that like button, we would certainly appreciate that. It also allows you to get content that we push out throughout the week as a subscriber. So, DJ.
Yep.
These NBA playoffs have been they've been pretty exciting so far. What you think about them?
They have been very, very exciting. I love all the storylines. I love how the Jackson Hayes and what's my man's name we got into it with? Dude for the Suns that LeBron is scared of. Played with us, but yeah,
I know who you're talking about. Man, his name just on the tip of my tongue, and I just can't pull it out.
It's not Crowder, Jay Crowder.
Jay Crowder,
got into it with Jay Crowder, and
yeah.
you know the playoffs has been good. So what I like about the playoffs is it's edgy. You know what I'm saying? I done seen you 2 games, bruh. You've been following me for 2 games. I'm about to swing on you. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's what the playoffs is. In each round, it's like okay, I let you get away with that the first game. And then it's this. And then, you know, I like how Trae Young and them won last night, which was, you know, a tremendous mountain they overcame. Here's my one storyline. The Ben Simmons situation. I'm glad they're not bringing him in game 3. But, so either you bringing him in on the second home game and you down 2-1, or you 3-0 and you gone anyway, so you might as well get him some run. Because, I mean, I don't know if his psyche is ready. Last time we saw him, he passed up a shot in the playoffs that in a crucial situation. And so now I don't know if you want to bring him in 2-0. So, I don't know. I've enjoyed the playoffs. I've enjoyed Joel Embiid. My last point about the playoffs, and I think I said this last week, you look at dudes like Joker, and I'm not surprised that they're down 3-0 because a dude like Joker is not really built for the playoffs. You can see that dude, you can see Joker coming to your city after you play one team, and then he come play you, and then you play another team. And so because of that, you don't really get an opportunity to prepare for a dude like that.
No. Wait a second.
When you prepare for a dude like that,
wait a second.
He is not athletic enough. So
that's not fair. That's not fair.
Okay,
what you saying? Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Go ahead.
He's getting D'd up by Draymond Green.
Right.
That's a very
dominating Draymond Green.
That's a very familiar story. Draymond Green is a 2-time defensive player of the year. Draymond Green is a very intelligent player.
If Evan Mobley was in year 6, if Evan Mobley was in year 6, and we were sitting up talking about a 6'6" dude,
he's missing 2 other All-Stars. He's missing 2 other All-Stars because of injuries. See, that's
my thing. Okay, dog, but just let me finish my thing about the playoffs. So my thing about him is dudes like that, he's not athletic enough to be good. He is skilled and he is tall.
That's not true.
But
he's an MVP. You
right.
don't stump. You don't.
But when I can scheme
if
for you,
you're an MVP, you got game. If you're an MVP, you got game.
I got forever.
Period.
Like Steve Nash. I got forever.
Steve Nash had game.
Yep. I got forever to make this point because that dude will never make it out the playoffs. He will never because you gotta have more. He's too slow.
So let me just say this. Let me just say this though. I think the NBA playoffs to this point have been very exciting. I've been staying up late a lot of nights watching those games, and they've been good. But to me, the only disappointing thing is all the injuries because it changes the complexion of what's going to happen, and it's just like it reminds me of last season where the playoffs was more like a battle of attrition versus the best team just winning. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like we're going down that road again. And I don't understand why guys is just getting hurt at the rate that they are now. And because it's not just okay, if your seventh man off your bench get hurt, that's one thing. But we got star players getting hurt. And I mean, an injury, it is what it is. Even if it's untimely, it is what it is. And I don't want to dwell on it just because it seems like that to me. But what I do want to do is just go through each series just real quickly and just talk about what's going on and see if it's being impacted by injuries. Because we have basically, 8 different games. We got 8 different series going on.
8 different series, right?
Yeah, now let's just touch on it real quick. So, Eastern Conference, Atlanta, Miami.
So
injuries aren't playing a major role in this series.
Well, Kyle Lowry just went down, but
he wasn't doing nothing anyway.
Okay, but what it is with that's just a classic. We're better than you series.
Oh,
Atlanta
yeah.
is coming.
Yeah,
but that's just a classic.
Atlanta won yesterday, but that's probably the only one they'll win.
Better coach, better players. Trae Young, maybe the best player out there, but
he is. But he's out. They're out, man. They're out, man. That's probably the only game they'll win. So okay, let's move on. Brooklyn, Boston.
So let me tell you what I love about this series. What I love about this series is Boston has had the same team since we was playing with LeBron going against Golden State. And although they do have a new coach, they got that same system. They've been able to add pieces. They've been able to add Tatum. I like Boston in that series, and I actually think that Boston can seriously come out the East. I'm not picking them to come out the East.
Let me say this, man.
But it wouldn't surprise me if they did because they are a very good,
let me
tough, gritty basketball
team. It does look like Boston's going to win this series. But let me say this too, man. If Boston does win this series, then one thing I want people to recognize is the levels to superstardom. Because LeBron in his prime with another all-star, there's no way he would lose a series like this. There's no way.
I don't agree with that.
Look how many times he schooled them boys on his way to 4 consecutive finals when he was with the Cavs.
Yeah.
There's with LeBron in his prime with another all-star in their prime also.
Prime. Okay.
There's no way he would lose to a team like Boston. And it's just like you got KD and Kyrie, and they both healthy. They both I guess and they're great players. The only point that I'm making is this levels to being a superstar. And LeBron is on a different echelon. So it's like when LeBron was in his prime, he drug much lesser teams to the finals. All the way to the finals. And we talking about this the first round. My only thing that I would say to that is the Brooklyn Nets is more of a TV team than a team. They're more of the story more than that. And the reason why I say that is because, okay, first off, their coach has never coached. They really don't play together to where you ever develop the rhythm because you got so many dudes coming in. LeBron took Mike Brown to the finals.
Because not only that, if you think about it,
with Eric Snow,
my man,
Ira Newble.
What's the center's name? Andre Drummond, and all of them, they just really getting there.
Danielle Marshall.
So that team,
Ilgauskas.
yeah, I mean, we got jokes and everything, but
it's not a joke. I'm just saying it's levels to this.
It's never been together though.
It's levels to this, man.
It is levels. Don't get me wrong. Kevin Durant is supposed to be good enough to take a team, and that's your point.
That's exactly that's my point. Exactly, that's my point.
If you
don't put him on the same level as LeBron. If you want to put him on the same level as 38-year-old LeBron
in that game of that team, if you look at the different changes they've made on TV, they were selling that team as, oh my God, it can't lose. Steve Nash is going to be and all this, but in reality, you had to look and say, wait a minute, this dude has never coached basketball. Kyrie is only going to come back for road games. You switching all these people in and out? No, that was never going to work. It worked on TV. They had people believing it a couple of months ago, but now reality sets in, and this team who has been playing together since LeBron was here when we used to play Golden State, is now going up against them. So I'm not surprised that they're down 2-0, probably about to be down 3-0, unless, don't get me wrong, KD and Kyrie can end up scoring 40 every game.
Well, I'll tell you
what it's going to take.
The only impact injuries is having on this series is thus far is Robert Williams for Boston is coming back,
right?
And that's going to help them. So again, I just made my point as far as levels to that superstar.
Bron could not have took that team Bron in his prime would probably have the same situation, dog, just because of the fact that look at the chaos they dealt with this whole season.
Okay, all right, like LeBron ain't dealt with chaos before. So let's move on, dog. Let's move on. Let's go to Milwaukee, Chicago. Now, injuries are playing a major part in that because Chris Middleton is he's already out. He's at least out for this series, for the rest of this series, at least.
Right. So, I definitely think Milwaukee is going to win this series. I don't think the thing about Milwaukee is Chris Middleton is the number 2, but Giannis is so much the number 1 that, okay, I might need you every once in a while, but at the end of the day, I'm carrying everything on my back. So
we'll see though, because Chris.
You think they're coming out of the series?
It's a chance they could, and this is why I say you play Milwaukee totally different without Chris Middleton, because all you do when Chris Middleton is their best outside shooter.
I don't agree with that. If you're saying that can create his own shot, best type. Okay,
off the dribble, he their best out whether it's mid range.
He's their second best player. Yeah, by far.
Right.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying. You take that away, that puts a lot of offensive pressure on Giannis. And you go ahead, you build that wall and turn Giannis into a jump shooter. We'll see. I'm not saying that I'm picking
Chicago.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm picking Chicago, but I'm just saying that one could definitely get interesting.
Here's why I say that. It's not like you're saying Philadelphia is losing Joel Embiid. Because Joel Embiid.
Well, hold on a second. We talk about.
I know.
Let's talk about that.
I am talking, but let me say there though. So, although Chris Middleton is a big part, the buck stops with Giannis. And the thing about Milwaukee is they got that championship DNA. So, they are just repeating what they did last year. Last year in the playoffs, they may have had a bump or bruise. They had to adjust to it. But because they've already done it, I don't think it's a problem.
But last year in the playoffs, they three played all of this. You know what I'm saying? Even Giannis, I know he was coming back from a knee injury, but he played all through the playoffs. So, okay, we'll see. But, hey, moving on to that Philly-Toronto series. Injuries, I mean, I don't know Joel Embiid's thumb. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if, I'm not going to count that. I'm not even going to count that. Injuries ain't no thing in that. And Toronto's done. Philly about to put a fork in them. So let's just move on over to the Western Conference.
Joel Embiid is the best player in basketball at this particular moment. He is the best player in basketball.
I would not argue that. He
Giannis
balling.
Has an
he
argument,
balling.
but he balling. Is the best player in basketball.
He balling. He balling. It happens to coincide with this being the first season where he stayed healthy. He hasn't missed I don't know if he hasn't missed substantial time due to injury for the first time in his career. And, and what do you know? He's probably going to win MVP. Dallas versus Utah.
That's a joke series. And I'm just saying that because I'm so hard on the Mavericks. But Donovan Mitchell, to me, is the closest thing I've ever seen to Dwayne Wade. Like, he is phenomenal.
Let me tell you where he's coming up short on a major Dwayne Wade comparison. Major Dwayne Wade comparison.
What?
Other teams go at him offensively because his defense is so poor. I don't know if you heard Jason Kidd say that the other day, but he said if whoever Donovan Mitchell is on, attack him. Yeah, and that was not the case with Dwayne Wade.
That means nothing to me. That means nothing.
Oh, it means everything. It means you're not a two-way player.
Okay.
Dwayne Wade was a two-way player. Dwayne Wade was first team all NBA defense.
Right.
Dwayne Wade would take your lunch money.
What Donovan
And
Mitchell
give you back the rapper.
is not on a good team. And so because he's not on a good team, it's really you don't really see him. You don't really see who he is. And so
No,
he's never going to be what he is in Utah. And so for that reason, I think Luka might de facto make it out of the first round. And that's my biggest thing. Is I don't want dude to make it out of the first round. But he might. I don't
think Luka's gonna play. I don't believe Luka's gonna play until I see him out there playing.
Okay.
Because anyone I know that's had that calf injury or that calf strain sits out for weeks.
But it's like
plural.
If you are a team and
but I still believe they could beat Utah.
Without
him, they could beat Utah.
I mean, no doubt. If Luka Doncic isn't there, and one day Jason Brunson or whatever that dude's name is,
Malcolm Brunson. Let's put it this way. Brunson balls though.
Yeah,
Brunson balls.
Okay.
So without Luka, he's got the ball in his hands a lot,
right?
And he's been balling. I've been watching that series. I've watched that series.
Dinwiddie like booming on people. It's like, yeah, okay.
I told you Spencer Dinwiddie was a baller when he came from Washington.
This is the equivalent of a play-in game. The next round, whoever is playing is about to get wiped out.
Okay,
so
all right.
Both of y'all,
but again, injuries is
Donovan
playing
Mitchell
a role
is the best player in that series
because of injuries. If it wasn't for that, Luka would be the best player in that series.
In your opinion and mine, it would still be Donovan Mitchell.
Okay, all right, whatever, dog. So let's move on to my favorite series so far, and it's Golden State versus Denver. And I'm gonna start it then. I'm gonna tell you why it's my favorite series. Because right now Golden State is my favorite team. I love the brand of basketball that they play. I think the fact that Steph Curry, the only unanimous MVP in NBA history, is willing to come off the bench. And not just come off the bench, but come off the bench and kill it. Just, you know what I'm saying? It's just like that whole attitude. I love that Draymond Green at 6'5", can guard a dude that's 7'1" and be physical with him and be smart with him. He ain't just being physical with him. Draymond plays such a smart game, right, offensively and defensively. It's like, right, man, I wish we had a dude like that. I wish we had a dude like that that play with heart and play with intelligence.
So here's my thing with that series. I will never like the Golden State Warriors. I would never like Klay Thompson. I would never like Golden State Warriors because they beat us 3 out of 4 years, and so that is my one team that I probably would never like. But I do believe that Golden State is probably one of the top 3 teams to probably win the championship because what they got is they got that championship DNA. They know how to do this.
They smart players, man. They got good players and they smart players, man. They smart players, man.
Jordan Pools. So all the time when they was getting out here losing and all stuff like that, and Klay was hurt and Draymond was hurt, that dude Jordan Poole was getting valuable minutes. And all of those dudes, right, they got Iguodala back. They got all these dudes to where
Andrew Wiggins was a starter in the All-Star game.
Yep.
He wasn't just any All-Star game. He was a starter.
So Golden State to me has a very good chance to win the championship, especially with D Book hurt. They got a very good chance to be the team that come out, and nobody would have expected that.
Right. So enough on that series. Let's go ahead and move on to Phoenix and the Pelicans. Hey, if you want to give us a call and join in on this conversation, feel free to. 216-402-1315 is the number. Give us a call.
Phoenix and the Pelicans. So I like the fact that the dude is Brandon Ingram is coming out. I like the fact that he has an opportunity to let everybody know that he can ball. I hate it. I hate his game, but his game is effective.
Why you say you hate his game?
Just because he just too much stuff moving when he do, like he's Kevin Durant, but like 10 times less smooth. And so
he's not
but
nearly
he
as
can
efficient
ball
as
them.
Kevin Durant.
Well, I'm just saying, like, they both skinny, they both tall, they both.
He's not
play
nearly
that
as
position.
efficient though as Kevin Durant.
No, he's not.
And Kevin Durant is playing well right now, but
The only point I'm making
I hate
is
that comparison.
I like that he is now getting the recognition that he deserves. I don't think they're going to win that series, even with D Book gone, just because of experience. So I think Phoenix is going to come out of there. Probably going to be a 7-game series. I think Phoenix without Book. If Book played, I think that New Orleans wouldn't win another game. And,
Okay.
and that's just based on experience versus youth. But I do like New Orleans, though. Now, let's talk about the next series. Now, this is my favorite series right here. I'm going to tell you, when Ja Morant came out of college, I said, man, this dude is from Murray State. He little. Come on, why is this dude getting so hyped? And I still do think he's little, but man, that dude is cold. The stuff that he does with the basketball.
So remember when we used to have those conversations when he was in college, and who did I compare him to? What did I say? You don't remember? You don't remember?
Jordan, shit, Kareem, I don't know who. Fuck, Magic, Iverson, who?
No, yep. I told you he's a bigger version of Iverson.
Okay, and I get that because what I like about that kid is he always just got the go button pressed.
In the way he attacked the rim.
He just goes.
The way he attacked the rim.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like,
yep.
he is just so much energy that, okay, so when I was watching that game, Jimmy Jackson was calling the game. Jimmy Jackson from O State, from Toledo. Toledo Scott, I think, is the high school he went to. But Jimmy Jackson was calling that game, and Jimmy was like, if I could talk to him, I would say, young fella, stop hitting the floor so much. You know, that floor don't give.
Yeah, right.
But, you know, Josh so young, it don't even matter to him. He just is
but that is real, though.
It is real.
Because remember how that caught up to D-Wade.
Yeah.
That caught up to D-Wade, because that was his game early. No, I that's good advice, though.
I can't wait to Ja Morant's mental aspect of the game matches his physical aspect of the game. Because to me, he is a very intelligent basketball player. He's a very go basketball player, team-oriented. Like, there's nothing really I would ever want to say bad about his game, except for maybe he's a little too light. But, man, like, you want that dude because
you know what I'm going to say?
Action all the time.
You know what I'm going to say? What I'm going to say about him, and it's the same thing I'm going to say about a lot of these young guards, is if you really want to make your mark in the NBA, you got to start to make it on the defensive end. You can be it's a lot of creative guards that are great scorers, but if you really want to be that dude, you got to start differentiating yourself on the defensive end, because if you scored 25 but you gave up 24, what did you really do?
Now, what else I like in that series is I like Anthony Edwards. Now, what I don't like about Anthony Edwards to me is Donovan Mitchell with that Dwayne Wade. And I'm not trying to dog your boy. I'm not trying to dog your boy at all. I'm not trying to dog Okoro. But he is Dwayne Wade, but he disappears like Okoro. So I wish Okoro would not sit over there in the corner too much, and I wish Anthony Edwards would not sit over there in the corner too much. I think that both of them got a lot to give their teams, and talent and aggressiveness and drive and the stuff that you want, but they just like Anthony Edwards waits too much for D'Angelo Russell or Cat to do something instead of just saying, man, I'm about to just hit the accelerator.
What about Cat, though?
He's good, but I would never want him on my team. He's not.
Look at how
his game is so
he's talented, but look how he get down in the playoffs. In the biggest games, look how he get down.
They have too many odd points because so I brought up the
too
point
much
about
losing
D'Angelo
situations
Russell.
associated with Cat.
I brought up D'Angelo Russell the other day. I think D'Angelo Russell is probably one of the most talented players in basketball as far as from a skill level, but it don't translate to winning basketball, and I never understand why. He plays aggressive. He's in the game.
Because your best player don't care about winning or ain't focused on winning. Yeah. And
Okay.
Because it's just like, look, remember when Jimmy Butler was there and Andrew Wiggins was there?
Yep.
And Jimmy Butler couldn't get along with those dudes because he said winning wasn't important to him.
Yep.
And Cat, again, you was the number one pick in the draft for a reason. You
talented.
always have been the best player on the team.
Yep.
And now they didn't got rid of Andrew Wiggins, they didn't got rid of Jimmy Butler, and they got a new cast of guys, and it's still the same thing.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like when your best player, highest priority isn't winning, he's your de facto leader. You are the best player
on that floor.
You're the de facto leader.
You are the best player on that floor, and I couldn't tell in the last game. Right.
Last 2 games.
Right. You are the best player by far on the floor. And you not really the game is coming to you instead of you going to take the game.
Right.
And I wish Anthony Edwards would just become that dog and let Cat be, because I think Anthony Edwards is good. I wish let Cat be that Robin that you want to be.
I think he hasn't even reached his peak yet. You know what I'm saying? Anthony Edwards is good now, but I think he's gonna be really good because you know what the difference with him is with a lot of other players is he's physical. And I'm gonna say it again.
Yes.
And I'm gonna say it again. When he learns how to dig in on the defensive end and start to make an impact on the defensive end of the game,
right,
with what he already does on the offensive game, that's when he will go to that next level as a player.
So I do agree with you on that point, and I mainly agree because that's how he built.
And he got the athleticism, right?
He got it, yeah.
Right,
and Coro is too.
Right.
And that's the difference between Ja. Ja ain't built like that. Like you put Anthony Edwards versus Ja, standing up, you got a solid dude versus a more slight built dude.
Right.
So yeah. Now, Patrick Beverly. Man, I'm gonna tell you. He is definitely the dude that if he is on your team, you love him. If he is not on your team, you hate him. But if you neutral, man, I cannot stand that dude, man. I cannot. Why are you playing basketball, bruh?
I respect what he brings to the table. Because he ain't the most skilled dude. You know what I'm saying? But he play with passion. He play with his heart. And he leave it out there on the court.
Yeah, man. But you got $20 million dudes out there. We don't want no clown undercutting some dude, and you can't even play basketball.
That's what it's been working for him.
It's been working for
Remember,
him.
he hurt Russ back in the day.
Yeah,
it's been working for him.
I do.
It's been working for him.
He done put a couple of people out the playoffs.
Right.
I don't like him. He put Steph out the playoffs, right?
Did he? Did he do Steph too?
I think he got Steph too. I don't like him. I do not like him, man. You don't play basketball like that.
But dog, so like to wrap up the NBA thing, last thing I want to say about it, dog, is right now, unless injuries strike, Golden State gonna win it all.
I'm not gonna give it to him. I'm not gonna say, but I believe they do. I still do think that the best 2 teams are Philly and Milwaukee, and I put Miami in there. I'll say this: my top 5. I'll say the teams that I think are the best is I'll probably go Philly 1.
What?
I love Joel Embiid, dog, and I love Doc Rivers, and I figure they're going to figure it out going through. So I got Philly 1. I probably got Milwaukee 2. I probably got Golden State 3.
Philly won't make it out the next round.
Miami 4. Boston 5.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, hey, look.
Now,
the time.
Now, Phoenix is probably above Golden State with Devin Booker. Without Devin Booker, I don't say they're better than any of those teams. But with Devin Booker, I'll probably put them 3, Golden State 4. So with Devin Booker, I go Philly, Milwaukee, Phoenix, Golden State.
I think Phoenix is just set up for disappointment without Devin Booker. And it's just like even when he try and come back, you coming back with a serious hamstring issue. And it's just like, even when you come back, you ain't gonna be yourself because it's. Yeah, I think it's just unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate for them.
For Chris Paul. Oh, bro, did you see that stat that ref's
Chris Paul's games? Yeah.
He's lost 14 games.
Right.
That something's got to be
right.
Something you got to do something.
But you know what though?
You got to do something.
This has been going on for years. They've
right.
been keeping that stat for years. You know what I'm saying? This isn't new.
But you got to do something about that though. I mean, for some reason you can't. Okay, so are you gonna let him ref game 7 of the NBA Finals?
I mean, I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what you say to that. But part of the reason I say I don't know what you say to that is because I don't know if there's other stats for other players like that out there.
So if you don't know what we're talking about, there is a certain referee, I can't remember his name, who has reffed games against Chris Paul 14 times, and Chris Paul is 0-14. The last one was the last game they lost, right? But he has reffed 14 playoff games with Chris Paul playing, and Chris Paul has lost all 14 of those games.
Scott Foster is the
Scott Foster
right.
is the ref.
He's 0-14 against Scott Foster or Foster, whatever.
That is a crazy stat.
It is. But so dog.
Can we talk about something else now, bro?
Absolutely. NFL.
Yeah.
And more specifically, let's start off, of course.
Hometown.
Cleveland Browns.
$100 million.
71 guaranteed.
Man, the Cleveland Browns. Okay, I'm making a declaration today.
Mr. Jimmy Haslam.
I'm making a declaration today. I am all in on the Cleveland Browns.
You should be.
No more snide jokes.
Big ballin' Jimmy Haslam out here like, what's happening?
Let me tell you this.
He like, what's happening? What you up?
The Cleveland Browns.
How you spell your last name?
A black starting quarterback, a black second-string quarterback, and a black third-string quarterback, and a black general manager. And not so that's number one. Number two,
Jimmy Haslam.
All of their major positions, Amari restructured. So all of their major positions, they locked the dudes up. We don't have to worry about shut down corner for so many years. We don't got to worry about defensive end. We don't have to worry about running back. We don't have to worry about quarterback. We got our quarterback for 7 years?
I believe 5.
5 years? So, yeah, they've had the same defensive coordinator despite all the ups and downs and this, that, and the third. The same offensive coordinator or head coach. So I'm all in on the Browns. I'm all in. Starting this day, I am fanboy again. I am the same fan that when I was in college and Bernie Kosar and I thought that they could do anything. I'm back to there now. Because right now, in my city, you showed me that you are investing in black players at cornerstone positions and you breaking off money. I've been watching other teams do it for years. Right. Now I see the Browns do it. Yeah, I'm woo, 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 woo.
And you know what's so slick about it? It's like we have all of what most GMs would call the core or foundation of a team. We have those pieces locked up. On offense, those pieces are quarterback. We got Deshaun Watson. Left tackle, we got Jedrick Wills. Even though there's still some question marks.
Still some question marks.
They
still drafting him. You can't be mad. You can't be mad at the Browns.
Right. I'm just saying there's still some question marks about him. But we got Jedrick Wills. Number one receiver, we got Amari Cooper. Then you go to the defensive side of the ball.
You forgot running backs though, bro.
No. Those aren't considered your core. I'm not saying that.
I got you. You're talking about, I know what you're talking about.
It's like 6 positions you need to get. On the defensive side of the ball, pass rusher, we got Myles Garrett. No questions there, buddy. And he's locked up for the next 5 years. Cornerback, we got Denzel Ward. If you didn't hear just a minute ago, he just signed a 5-year extension.
Ain't going nowhere.
You know what I'm saying? And those are like, I'm not saying that you don't need good players at the other positions, but those are the core things that you need to build a football team around. And we not only do we have those positions filled, we have them locked up for the next 5 years.
Here's the thing about it, bro. In Cleveland, the whole joke was always you can't buy anybody's jersey because you could buy all of them. Every dude you just named.
Right.
Maybe Jedrick Wills just because he ain't lived up. It ain't the Browns didn't make the investment. Sometimes it's on the player.
Right. He got to stay healthy.
So
he got to stay healthy.
You can go buy Miles' jersey and he going to be here. You can go buy Denzel's jersey like I did. He's going to be here.
That's
you can go buy the quarterback. Why am I tripping?
Deshaun
Watson. He gonna be here.
$230 million say he will be here.
And these black dudes, and not even to make it a racial thing, but I have always felt like that Cleveland would pump up a player that wasn't really that great more about because the fans accepted him more than his talent. And now it's about his talent. Hey, fans, y'all gonna come along once we win it. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't, and you sell your season tickets after 40 years, then don't come down to the parade when they win it.
Jimmy Haslam is sitting right up under Dan Gilbert. It's only because, in my opinion, in terms of best owners in Cleveland, and it's because Dan Gilbert has already delivered us a championship, but Jimmy Haslam is doing everything in his power to deliver us a championship. He's spending the money.
Yeah,
he's making he's letting a smart football man, also known as Andrew Berry, make good and smart football decisions. And he's bringing a winner. He's building a winner right here for you in Cleveland.
Right. So
hey, you know how I know things is trending in the right direction, or the franchise is looking good outside of Cleveland? Did you hear about Deshaun Jackson saying he's looking for a new team?
No. So okay, I'm fanboy now.
Okay, well,
yes, let's get Deshaun Jackson.
No, dog.
I almost switched to Dion. I almost switched back.
Nah, dog. It ain't got to be like that, dog. It's something in between that. It's something in between. Okay? So let me just finish the story anyway. The point I'm just trying to make is Deshaun Jackson listed 3 teams that he was interested in signing with, and one of them just happened to be the Browns. And like I said, it's interesting because when you got a quarterback, people want to play with you.
Right.
When you got a real quarterback, other dudes want to play with you.
Right.
Because when you have a bad quarterback play, destroys people's careers, particularly receivers.
I wouldn't mind kicking the tires on Deshaun Jackson, though. I mean, I'll tell you one thing about Deshaun Jackson. He's
still fast.
Plays.
He's still fast. You know that.
I tell you what, you watch football, if you watch football 16 weeks, it's going to be 3 weeks where they cut in and say, look what Deshaun Jackson did.
Right. I wouldn't mind that either, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
mind it.
And you know, in a situation he could return a punt for you too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not to try and take anything away from my man Jakeem Grant. Okay. I ain't taking nothing away from my man. Cause I said it last week and I'm gonna say it again. He's gonna surprise people this year.
I'm gonna be surprised before I predict he'd be surprised, but I feel you.
Right.
I feel you, but
so what do you think about the Baker talk in terms of finding him a destination and people? Because you know the NFL draft is this week.
Yeah.
This Thursday. The NFL draft starts, and there's speculation that he may get dealt during the draft.
So I've been going back and forth with this, and this is my thing. At the end of the day, if dude is a first-round pick, and he cost the team $18,000.
$18 million.
$18 million. And ain't nobody blew the doors off the Browns to come get him. It must not be anybody that want him. I mean,
of course.
If Jameis Winston was out here, I think somebody will give him $18 million, even if it's Jameis. I think Jameis could go out here because
I do too, because that's not much for a starting quarterback in the
and
NFL.
you walking in as if all I needed was a bridge. and all I got to pay you is $18 million for 1 year. And they say that this is an underwhelming college quarterback draft.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just at the point where people are fed up with Baker, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's not on the roster next year.
I think he'll be on the roster. But you know what it is too? I don't even think as much the talent it is. I think it is the person. Like, I think that's what's keeping him off of a roster right now. Because it's not the money. It's not the money, man. So $18 million is not that much money for a starting quarterback.
So let's rewind this 2 years ago when Cam was in this situation. And I was like, bruh, if I'm Cam, I ain't about to take somebody's backup role. I'm Cam Newton. And Belichick threw Cam an olive branch. Because here's the thing. I didn't believe that Cam was going to walk into anybody's quarterback room and say, I'm number 2. Now, if you remember Hard Knocks, Baker made this big-ass to-do about Hugh Jackson announcing him being number 2. 4 years in, I don't think Baker is going to want to walk somewhere and say, okay, well, make me the backup. Behind Brady,
Baker may have no choice. At this point, it's no longer about what Baker wants.
Cam didn't either. And so what I'm saying is, so Cam said, well, I'm not going to go.
If Baker want to collect that $18 million, he's going to walk into any situation that the Browns put him in.
He ain't show up to Millie. He ain't show up to.
That's voluntary. That's voluntary. When it come down to that $18 million, he will do exactly what the Cleveland Browns and Andrew Berry tell him to do.
You're right. Because he's definitely not going to not get the $18 million.
Exactly.
He ain't gonna do something to say, "Hey, I'm not."
And you know, one of the things that changed in the current CBA is the franchise can't waive those fines anymore. So if they fine you for not showing up to training camp, they can no longer waive those, and basically you have to lose that money. So that's why, like, even with situations like the Deshaun Watson situation last year, he was still at training camp. All of the mandatory stuff, he was still there, even though it was very awkward. He still showed up because he didn't want to take those fines because it wasn't like back in the day where they could just be like, okay, well, we're going to waive all those fines once the organization kisses and makes up with a player.
I'll just be glad when the drama is over. And we can I'll be glad when it's over, but it's strange.
I will too, but you know what though? I'll say this though. If it doesn't work out during this draft week, like if you can't swing something that you're comfortable with, sit on them. Sit on them. I mean, just wait. You know what happens every year because either somebody's going to get hurt early on or maybe somebody, one of the younger players underwhelms the coaching staff. I would just sit on him. And let's put it this way. I would not give him away. Because, you know, I'm sure you've heard the rumor that if the Browns waive him, he clears waivers, he wants to go to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's a rumor.
Whatever. There's no way that's happening on my watch. And I'm sure Andrew Berry is aware of that too. There's no way that's happening. You are not going to have the number 1 pick and have him play for your division rival. And it's not that I think that Baker's that great of a quarterback or anything. I'm 100% down with Deshaun Watson, but we're not going to create that scenario.
Didn't Philly do it with McNabb?
Huh?
Didn't Philly do it with McNabb?
When he was at the end of his career.
Okay.
When he was 36. You know what I'm saying? Man, look, that's why I say, if it come down to that, hey, Big Jimmy, eat that $18 million. Eat that $18 million because you can't just
Everybody wins in this situation. The only person
they already got the mentor dude down there. Let them deal with Trubisky.
That loses is Baker in this situation. It's a win for everybody. It could be a win for Baker, but it could be a loss for Baker.
No, I'm just saying
he's the only person.
His value obviously is pretty low right now. Right. So if I would I would sit on him. I would sit on him. I would tell him don't show up for nothing. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to see you in Berea, but you go work out on your own, do whatever you got to do, and when the situation comes up, we'll deal you.
Here's what I mean by it. The Browns, him sitting out and they having to pay $18 million is nothing to them. So
at the end of the day.
So they don't really lose even if they have to eat his salary this year. Other teams really not losing because it ain't like I need you anyway. So if you came to me, you good. But if you don't, I got the draft. I got other. So nobody's losing. The only person that loses is Baker because Baker needs to go somewhere to prove that he can get a quarterback job the year after. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so he's getting 18 now, but imagine he does not play next year. He ain't getting that 18 next year, but he can play himself into
right.
higher
I get
salary.
what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
So he is the only person that loses in this situation if he loses. But I'll just be glad when it's over, man.
I'll be glad. I mean, it'll reach its conclusion at some point. I don't care one way or the other, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's to me, it's like not a big deal.
Right.
Yep. So again, the draft starts this Thursday. It's kind of hard to get excited about anything when you don't have a pick into the second round because you don't know who or what's gonna be there, and
right. I'll be glad when the draft is over. But now let's move to the Guardians.
Okay.
So the Cleveland Guardians, we are 7-6. We lost to the Yankees yesterday. They're gonna be a good baseball team. I'm gonna tell you, the Cleveland Guardians is going to be what the Cleveland Cavaliers was. They're going to be a team who, by the middle of the season, we're going to start feeling real good about them, and we're going to carry that right down to the wire. And, I remember at the end of the basketball season, a lot of times JB would say, yeah, it was the fans that helped us win this game. Or Kevin Love said it was the fans that would help us win this game. And that's the thing about baseball. During the end of the season, when you really need it, it's warm outside and the fans are going to be there.
Right.
So
right.
I believe that I like this team. I like this team. I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the year they are right there at the edge of the playoffs. I think they got a play-in, whatever they have in baseball. I believe that they could be right there. But by the same token, they could lose 100 games because they real young.
Hold on. So what side of the fence is you coming in on? You can't straddle both of them now. You know what I'm saying? Either you down with them,
right.
Think they're gonna win,
right? And so here's what they don't have. So now all of our frontline prospects are playing for the major league. So if we get hurt or somebody get busted for PDs or for whatever reason somebody loses significant time, we don't have nobody down on the farm that we can go get because guess what? They're playing up here right now. So if you needed to lose a Jose Ramirez for 20 games, we're toast. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't have nobody to go down to replace him because Ernie Clement, say for example, is now playing second base.
Okay.
If we lost Jose for 20 games and we went and got Ernie Clement to play third base, you may be able to navigate through that. But so that's the only.
So you're saying the margin for error is so thin?
It's very thin right now.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Because you have a young player replacing a young player.
Right.
Right.
So this is going to be, which it is every year. This is the same story for the Indians every year. But are we going to be buyers or sellers at the deadline? Now, what always happens is they tell us They tell us that they might be buyers all the way up until they actually make their first trade, and we realize, oh, we're actually going to be sellers, and then they end up selling. But we've been selling for so long that now we done sold everything, and now we getting a return on it. So if these dudes can push and make some noise, then at the trade deadline, you can insert those pieces that put you right over there. That's how we got a Jason Giambi, I think, or those types of players. So I'm optimistic. I'm fanboy. So I think we going. I believe in the Indians.
So what we got for the Yankees?
So they lost yesterday to the Yankees 4-1. and Stevens Kwan's first game at Yankee Stadium. Everybody's first game at Yankee Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Who we got pitching today? We got Kyle Cantrell, which I like Cantrell. I don't know. The Yankees aren't a juggernaut yet. Aaron Judge hit a 2-run homer on us yesterday. He's one of their core players, but I don't know. It's early. We can beat them. We can lose. I don't know. I don't know who the Yankees pitcher is. I love Cantrell, but he's very, very young. And so, hey, if I had to go on a limb, I'm going to say that we're going to beat them 4-3. Cantrell is going to go into the 6th inning, and we're going to hold Aaron Judge to no hits with 3 strikeouts. So, I got the Indians.
You mean the Guardians?
The Guardians. I got the Guardians 4-3.
Okay. All right. Guardians a winner. Guardians a winner then.
So it's about that time, man. But the weather is nice. NFL draft is about to come, and it is about to be Browns.
Let me go back one second on the NFL draft. And again, drafting as low as we are, or drafting in the second round, it's hard to predict who will be there. But let me just ask you this then. Position. Our first draft pick, whether it's the second round or we use one of our third round picks or something to trade back into the bottom of the first round, whatever. What do you see us from a position standpoint? Do you think we going receiver, or do you think we going defensive line?
I think so. You can never go wrong with defensive line, but I think that the Browns should draft receiver. I'm gonna tell you this. Remember that one draft where we drafted like 4 receivers? Corey Coleman was first round.
Yeah.
I don't think we should draft 4 receivers, but if we can have that group of dudes right now would mean something to us, because when we drafted them, we almost needed them to play right now. Whereas if we could draft some dudes and let them develop and learn, that would be a good draft for us now. So to me, going into the draft, I think our biggest area of need, if I had to say number 1, would probably be receiver. Now, you said that the center is somebody, I don't know who the center is.
Nick Harris.
So because I don't know who the center is,
Nick Harris,
I would probably figure that you can get a pretty good center at number 2 in the second round. I'm saying.
No, we signed a free agent and we got Nick Harris.
Okay, so I don't.
We definitely not getting another center.
Again, I don't know
and
that
Michael
dude.
Dunn plays center. We got 3 guys that can play center.
So again, I don't know that dude.
Okay.
So because I don't know him, I'm going to still say that the 2 positions of need the most that we have is receiver and center. And everybody thinks tight end is set. So
let me say something on that.
Receiver,
One thing,
center and tight end.
One thing that I noticed, and I'm kind of reading between the lines on some things, is that last year the offense and the defense didn't get together basically in the offseason and for OTAs. And part of it was because of Baker, and part of it was because of J.C. Tretter. Yes. Because J.C. Tretter discouraged the offensive players from working out.
You saying, why Baker? I don't get Baker. Baker wanted it. It was because of J.C. Tretter. Baker actually
No.
So, okay, tell me, I don't know what you said.
Because
I put all that on Tretter. So
right, but I'm saying is, as a leader, Baker could have.
He did. They had Camp Baker.
I didn't even say it. I didn't say it. How can you answer a question I didn't, or address a statement I didn't make yet?
Because I don't want you to have been putting on giving Baker kudos a year ago and now dogging him now. So that's why I want you to. That's why I'm paying attention. I'm not paying attention because I'm talking, but I'm gonna listen to what you got to say.
Right. I'm just saying. Okay. Baker only wanted offensive players coming down there to his thing versus collaborating. He wanted to separate it versus collaborating with Miles. So what you wound up having is the defensive players who were reporting the OTAs and the offensive players who were doing Camp Baker.
Yeah, I'm going to stay out of that one.
It is what it is. I'm just saying it's about
J.C. Tretter is the reason why the Browns did not have OTAs last year, and it cost them. Now I don't know how you put it on Baker.
So let me ask you this. Just let me ask you this.
Okay.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
And again, none of us was part of those conversations, but just use common sense. Just use common sense.
Okay.
Do you think if Baker reached out to Miles and was like, "Hey, look, I'm gonna respect my center, and we not gonna do OTAs, but let's pull the offense and the defense down here, so we can have some workouts just together, even though they not part of OTAs. Let's just do that." Do you think Miles would have been like, "Nah, Baker, I ain't down with that. I don't get down like that. I'm 9'5". I'm Big Miles. Nah, I don't want to do that." Or do you think he would have been like, "That sounds like a good idea"?
I think Miles.
Also considering that that's basically what him and Deshaun is getting ready to do now.
Okay, but I hear you. But I don't think that was the story. But I hear you.
I led this off by saying I'm reading in between the lines on what you hearing and what people are saying. They tiptoeing around the truth.
Because this is
why the boy ain't got no job right now.
Because this is
what actually happened. This is what actually happened. What actually happened was, at that particular time, it was a huge hot button issue because there was COVID, but we were coming back in football. And so what the Players Association president did is said, "Hey, teams, don't show up for practice." And so because he was the player president of the Cleveland Browns, he couldn't have his team not show up. So he said, "Hey, Cleveland Browns, don't show up." So other teams said, "Hey, the hell with that. We're going to show up." Now what Baker Mayfield did is Baker Mayfield said, "Wait a minute. This is my opportunity to make my $40 million. Y'all, I am going to have Camp Baker." Right.
Now, had there not been the J.C. Tretter part, Baker Mayfield would have had training camp wherever the hell or OTA
where they both at,
wanted to,
and where they both at.
He was chasing that $40 million,
and where they both at.
And it was J.C. Tretter's fault.
J.C. Tretter.
Yeah.
It was. But let me say,
J.C. Tretter.
Baker could have rose above it by saying, "Okay, I'm gonna get everybody." And again, you know you ain't gonna get all C3, but you gonna get the core guys together.
Had he done that, he would have been going up against everybody in the league. And his player
he did it anyway.
Right.
When you do Camp Baker, you doing the same thing. You just saying I only want what you're saying is I only care about offense. I don't care about defense. That's the message that you're sending to the locker room.
He was walking through a field of shit trying to negotiate it.
It ain't hard.
Chasing $40 million.
It ain't hard.
And he obviously didn't do it right because now
he's looking for a job.
Right.
Exactly. That's my point.
J.C. Trevor's fault. And that's why the Browns cut his ass.
And that's why.
So you
look
where
they both at.
The lines, right?
Look where they both at.
Right. But that was not Baker Mayfield's fault.
It was both of their fault.
It was not.
I'm
Baker
just saying.
Mayfield did everything he could.
No, he didn't. He could have collaborated with Miles. That's what real leadership is.
He would have collaborated with me to get that $40 million. It was all of the whole at that particular time. The whole OTAs was a hot button subject. The player rep was your team. You couldn't.
I'm not saying go to OTAs. He had Camp Mayfield.
Right.
But he only wanted offensive players. My point is he could have invited everybody.
But everybody could have had COVID. The COVID story. COVID is not a big story now, but COVID was a big story then. So Baker,
you saying offensive players can't have COVID?
Yeah, no, they can. But Baker was willing to take that risk, but he wasn't willing to take that risk with the whole team. So
that makes no sense. That makes no sense.
Bro, it happened.
It makes no sense. That's poor leadership. Okay. That's why you don't have a team to play for.
Okay.
That's just an example of why.
Okay.
I'm just saying that's poor leadership. That's the point that I'm making.
Yeah, okay.
You want to put it all on JC, but I'm just saying Baker.
Baker
has a hand in that. Baker has a hand in that because at the end of the day, COVID still exists, right? Deshaun Watson and Myles Garrett, what they say? Let's put it together. So the offense and defense can bond as a whole team.
Only point that I'm making is At that particular time, Baker was doing everything that he possibly could to get some dudes together. And at that particular time,
for Baker again.
You
making excuses for Baker.
You were making excuses for him because I was saying that wasn't a good idea, and everybody was like, "No, it's Camp Baker." Everybody was with it. Everybody was calling Baker a leader. Everybody was saying, "Oh, well, Baker is getting his dudes together and doing this."
I didn't understand.
Now,
I didn't know that. Now,
you fast forward it. Now he is the ass for it.
Right.
But he was only trying to do what he needed to do to make the team win. J.C. Treader put him in that bad situation.
Like I said, the solution
too much energy for Baker Mayfield.
The solution was very simple to me. Don't exclude the defense. Invite your defensive players too.
Okay. Why didn't Miles have Camp Miles then?
Because they went to OTAs. Because apparently they weren't on the same page. That's my point. But you see how cooperative Miles is. Because him and Deshaun on the same page all of a sudden.
COVID ain't the story that it was then.
Last year.
Is the NFL Players Association coming out saying, "Hey, players,
there were
don't
no
show up to OTA"? It's
Camp Mayfield. So you trying to say they had COVID restrictions at Camp Mayfield? Bruh. There was somebody walking around making sure everybody was wearing masks.
Story, dog. You are twisting the story.
I'm not.
You are.
No.
What is going on now is totally different than what was going on a year ago.
That's not true.
A year ago,
that's not true.
J.C. Treader went to the teams and told the players, "Do not report to OTA."
But
there's
point
nobody doing that now.
His point was the reason he said that is because last year we proved we don't need OTAs. Right. That was his point.
And everybody was saying, "No, you do."
But that was J.C. Treader's point, though.
Right. And his quarterback got caught in the middle of that because all the other teams did it. Not all the other teams.
A lot of other teams followed suit. But my point is, again, I'm going to say it one more time, dog. My point is, Baker still went above that, but he only got his offensive players together. He should have got his defensive players together along with it, too. And it should have been Camp Mayfield, and it should have been a bunch of Browns dudes down there. He should have collaborated with his best defensive player, who's Myles Garrett. That's what Deshaun Watson has done, and he ain't even... They only been together for 30 days.
Hindsight is 2020. Yeah, I saw him fuck up.
Hindsight is 2020.
So I'm not gonna fuck
I couldn't figure out in 2 years what Deshaun Watson figured out in 30 days.
The quarterback.
No. Wait, I couldn't figure out in 3 years what Deshaun Watson figured out in 30 days.
Here's my thing.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
glad
That's
Deshaun
right.
Watson
That's right.
is here. But I'm not gonna kick the man out leaving out. I'm not gonna kick the man leaving out.
I'm just gonna speak. I'm gonna speak my truth in terms of how I see it. I'm gonna speak my truth.
From being the quarterback of the Browns 1 year ago, he did exactly what everybody wanted him. Excuse me. He did exactly what everybody wanted him to do in that moment. It's very easy to look back and say, "Wow, that was a mistake." But in that moment, when he had to make that decision, everybody was on board.
That doesn't matter, dog, because he's dealing with information at the time that we don't have. We didn't have that information in. He did.
What information?
About
Miles wanted to team up.
We didn't know that. We didn't know that Baker made Camp Mayfield offense exclusive. We didn't know that.
Okay, okay. So Baker, the quarterback, is the leader of the entire team, right? He is. The quarterback is the leader of your team. But in reality, he's the leader of the offense. So if you're going to go left and you're going to invite some people to go left, you're going to have the people that you got under you go left. You ain't going to say, "Hey, I'm going to get everybody."
Let me go back to what I said.
Because Baker's responsibility was not stopping teams on 3rd and 4.
Who do all that? Who do them First Energy commercials where First Energy is their house? Is that Baker or is that Miles?
You twisted that story.
No. You know the quarterback is the leader of the team.
He is.
Why are you acting like this is new?
He is the quarterback of the team.
Is he the leader of the team? Whose home is it? First Energy Stadium is whose home? Okay.
Again, dog.
Work with your defensive leader.
When Baker Mayfield
Deshaun Watson did it, and he ain't been with the team in 30 days.
again.
That's the first thing he did. He like, hold on a second, 95.
2020.
Yeah, like I said, it took him 3 years to figure out, and he didn't figure out what it took Deshaun Watson less than 30 days. I'm glad we got Deshaun Watson.
Bruh, if you walk through that door and bumped your head, when I walk through, I'm not going to bump my head because I'm going to see you bump it. And that's the same thing.
I'm not going to bump my head for 3 years. I'm not going to come through that door and bump my head for 3 years.
Bruh, it's not been 3 years. Only thing I'm saying
Yes, it has. Baker played with, you know what? You're right. He played with Miles for 4 years. Okay. So in 4 years, you couldn't develop a relationship with Myles Garrett to where
this is why it's hard for me to be a fan. This is why it's hard for me to be a fan.
What?
Because we can't just let the dude walk out the door.
Because of the truth.
We got to kick him out the door. And not only
I ain't kicking him out the door. I kicked him when he was here.
The story.
I'm not kicking him when he out the door. I kicked him when he was here.
You was hyped that the dude had Camp Baker last year. You were saying, "Oh yeah."
I didn't know the whole story. I didn't know the different angles. I didn't know all the angles. I didn't know all the angles. I didn't know the whole story. I didn't know the whole story.
This is why my fandom is hard. This is why when you tell me Darius Garland is
because you struggle with the truth. Because you struggle with the truth.
No. This is why when you tell me Darius Garland is so cold that it's hard for me to hear, because I know 2 years from now you will be telling me that Darius Garland was the worst person ever, like you doing Baker. That's why it's hard. That's why it's hard. That's why it's hard. That's why it's hard to go along with the Darius Garland and Eric Garland, because I know everybody will be dogging this dude 2 years from now as much as they praise him. And this Baker Mayfield story is the perfect example, because when he held Camp Baker, everybody in Cleveland was calling him, oh, blah, 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 he's great. And now you dogging him for the same thing that you was praising him for not even 365 days ago. That's hard, dog. It's hard. It's hard.
Okay. You don't see my point, though? Okay. Well, hey, dog. Hey, that's a wrap, dog. We'll see you here next Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Bro, make sure we cut off the stream this time. Bro, you see my point though, man, because you can't dog that dude.